Welcome to the bold analysis. Mount Kenya MPs are struggling to defend their decision to continue supporting Kenya Kwanza, or rather UDA administration. And even after the president put the responsibility on Kimani Ichun'gwa and Kindiki to secure Mount Kenya votes in this podcast, Ichun'gwa is finding it more difficult, and the ground is hostile to deliver the president's message in a very clear sign. And I want to demonstrate to you why Kindiki and the Kikuyu Member of Parliament may not, or rather are not in a position to deliver the game of votes to the president. Kindly subscribe to our channel. And before we get to that detail, I am still standing in the gap, requesting you to partner with us so that we can support this girl, Lucy, who is a student doing physiotherapy in Homa Bay KMTC, coming from an underprivileged family, only with one parent who is also having developmental challenges. And we had to come through. So her case was raised to us since she joined last month, but has not been able to cover the fee arrears and other requirements.
Good evening. My name is Lucy from Homa Bay, KMTC, pursuing diploma in physiotherapy. I'm kindly requesting for your support in my school fees. I have a major challenge there, and I hear at school, when you don't complete your fee, no exam will you be allowed to sit for. So please, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to ask for your support.
So in our foundation, we are mobilizing resources so that we can be able to sort her fees, pending fees, which is 96,000. Of course, with the other requirements that are needed so that she can finish her year one. And that is why I'm standing in the gap for Lucy. Partner with us, and I want to say thank you. We are looking at a deficit of 57,000 by tonight, so that we can be able to finish up. We are going to close this fundraiser tomorrow. I will dispatch one of my members, one of my staff, to Homa Bay so that we can sort Lucy. So kindly support this, and I want to say thank you for those who've responded. We started mobilizing these resources from yesterday, and I want to say thank you. I may not be able to respond to all the messages, but I want to say thank you for supporting this noble cause. Education is an equalizer. And even as we do the other projects, but when we have an opportunity to support a dream, we cannot turn our back on Lucy. And thank you very much for supporting. Now, the president has tasked Majority Leader Kimani Ichun'gwa and the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki to lead the Mount Kenya vote hunting mission after falling out with his former deputy Rigathi Gachagua and a host of other leaders, including Ndindi Nyoro, who is now emerging as a lethal force. And in this change of strategy, I think the president realized that his former deputy has more lethal dossiers against him, and it's increasingly becoming more easy and very comfortable, very deadly for Rigathi to neutralize William Ruto's influence there. So as he tours the other regions, one of the strategies that they've laid bare is what you can see in this poster. They have recycled a 2022 scheme where they used to organize what they call economic empowerment forums and give money to youth groups and boda groupings, women groups, and buy some machines, sewing machines and things just for the people as part of empowerment. So if you look at this poster, you can see Sudi with the money, and the chief, the host is actually Ichun'gwa hosting Sudi. Sudi has been making this and has been the chief guest in most of these empowerment forums. And this is the new strategy, of course, last kick of a dang horse, the new strategy to win back the people. But just to show you that it's increasingly not becoming, it will not be very easy, even for Ichun'gwa and Kindiki to deliver Gema. There is this viral video because today the team were hosted by Jen Kagiri, Laikipia women rep, for the same economic forum. And just moments as the leaders were arriving, there was a time Ichun'gwa was actually heckled and called names by some young people who were attending that event. Now, you will also keenly, I'll demonstrate to you that that house is not holding together. In fact, in that event, just how desperate the strategy is, they were even donating some food stuff. If you look at this, they're even donating some food stuff just to try to hoodwink and win the people back to their side. So many things are not working. And when you see politicians now resorting to this means, then it means we are racing against time. Some other analysts say UDA administration, I'm convinced it's UDA. There is nothing like Kenya Kwanza. It's UDA administration is actually on it's surviving on some borrowed time. Now, this Ichun'gwa had not been for quite some time. They were not holding events in Mount Kenya alone. Most of them are only taking advantage when the president is there. And number two, whenever Ichun'gwa speaks out of Mount Kenya, he finds it easy to attack Rigathi Gachagua and the other political formation, the other opposition coalition, especially when they're the president. But then you will understand, and you will look at this speech, you will understand how he's playing holier than thou politics, that hatujakuja kwa chuki na malumbano. In a clear point, is actually changing a strategy from the combative attack on Rigathi to a more reserved approach. And interestingly, you will see how he's struggling to explain bottom-up markets and bottom-up. And even as he speaks, I've seen that video there when he was speaking, the people are just staring and not really, what he's saying is not attractive to them.
Sisi hatuna haja na zile siasa mnasikia za kutaka kugawa watu na kabila tofauti tofauti, siasa za chuki, siasa za migawanyiko, siasa za kuongea mambo ya watu binafsi ama viongozi. Sisi tunataka siasa za maendeleo. Tuwaelezee yale masoko tuliwaambia. Hapa Marmanet muliambia mtajengewa soko. Huyu mheshimiwa Wachira Karani atawaambia soko ya Marmanet, ya Supili na Legwege na Kinaba na Inya na Rumuruti. Rumuruti ni soko ya milioni karibu 300. Supili ingine ya milioni kama 60. Hapa Marmanet soko ya milioni karibu 70. Kinaba ya milioni ingine 70. Na hizo soko ni zile tuliwaambia ni za bottom. Si tulikuwa nasema bottom up, watu tukasema bottom up, pesa mfukoni. tuunganishe hiyo na mambo ile tulisema ya bottom up economic empowerment programs yenye Mama Jane na Wachira wametupangia hapa Marmanet leo. Na sisi hakuna mambo ingine imetuleta. Hatujakuja kuwaita mkutano ati tuongee mambo ya siasa. Hatujakuja kuita mkutano ati tuongelelee watu wengine. Wale wa kuongelea watu wengine, wale wa matusi waendelee na matu.
Is not getting, if they're there for vote hunting, you can actually feel like the social contact between the leadership and the audience, there is some social distance there. Notably from this event, Ichun'gwa and the team, they were supposed to neutralize Rigathi influence. The president's object of hate, it's a custom politicians have gotten used to, that you must get an object of hate. And their object of hate has been Rigathi Gachagua. And on this one, they cannot. Notably, Kiunjuri, who is from Laikipia, was absent in that event. Betty Maina, Mary Wamaua, and quite others who have been part of the president's caucus from Mount Kenya were conspicuously meeting. And if you want to see how the MPs are struggling to make explanations, I would want to play for you another video from Nyeri. This was on Sunday. They were in a church service and they're trying to justify why the region needs to stick with Ruto.
Thĩinĩ wa Gĩkũyũ nĩ tũinaga nĩ kũrĩ ũgĩ tũgakorwo naguo twĩnine naguo tũthire, atĩ makenina na ũgĩ wao mathire. Jamani, Mungu ametujalia katika ulimwengu wa kiruninga. Nĩ mwĩtwe na social media, na nĩguo ndĩrona tarĩ ũgĩ ũrĩa Ngai augĩte nĩ tũgakorwo na ũgĩ mũingĩ twĩnine naguo. Tondũ rĩu social media na thimũ iria tũhetwo nĩ Ngai, handũ haci tũcitũmĩre tũgocithie Ngai na twĩhe thayũ, tũrokĩra social media, ũkaruma Mheshimiwa Mudavadi, ũkaruma Kimani, ũkaruma Wainaina, ũkanuma Senator. Warĩkia ũguo ũrĩkorwo ũkĩruma thoguo, mĩciĩ mĩingĩ thũkĩte tondũ kana gaka nĩ kararumire ka mũtumia ũrĩa na thimũ. Koguo niĩ no ndĩmũhoe tũtũmĩre thimũ citũ irehe thayũ gwitũ na itũhe gĩkeno handũ ha tũcitũmĩre tũthũkie bũrũri. Bũrũri ũngĩgathũka ũgathũka tondũ thimũ tũtiracitũmĩra ũrĩa kwagĩrĩire. I decided on myself to support this government. Sikusurutishwa na mtu. I weighed. Na mimi ni mzee kiasi. So I weighed. Ni serikali ama ni maneno. I decided it is time to talk, to work, not to talk. And for those who talk, they do very little.
And you will see that clearly. Unajaribu sana explain. It's not something that you're explaining with ease. Today, as this is happening, today there is 89 UDA coordinators from Embu that have issued another press briefing in Embu, disassociating with the party.
Don't be left.
We choose to divorce the UDA party today with a lot of confidence, and it is what it is. Right now, power belongs to the people. We move by the people, and if it belongs to the people of Embu, we will go by what they decide. We have a new beginning as from now. We choose peace. We have chosen a divorce, and we will move together.
We are the people who convince the populace of Embu people to vote for this government. We feel that we no longer want to be associated with a system that has failed our people in terms of service and delivery. And therefore, we are here to make a declaration that from today henceforth, we have nothing to do with the UDA party, and we want to leave it to Honorable Sabina to continue with it and our cronies, to continue looting this county and to continue misadvising the government.
When we were selling the party, we were selling a party that was God-fearing, that was friendly to the people, nationally and even at the county level. And we sold it, and for 6 months consecutively, Embu was #1 in the recruitment.
Of course, saying they're not part of the UDA administration, they're not going to support UDA. Days after Manyata MP, Mukunji also led a delegation to Amunyoro in Nyeri so that they can officially associate with Rigathi Gachagwa's new party. So it's not very easy for the team selling President Ruto's agenda there. And I think they also know this because, and I've realized, there have been much of these economic forums on Sunday. Kindiki was in Gatundu. North for the same. Apart from saying tutanyorosha wale, Kindiki lacks the political charisma. He actually lacks the traction. The messaging, his messaging on this, and then he's been demeaned, I don't think he has that convincing power. One of the men I don't appreciate, Mythical Inturo, was making fun of him, and I want to play even you to listen to his speech in Narok. Really, I don't think he can speak, he can have that convincing power. And I strongly believe why Ichun'gwa and Kindiki, who are the new people to deliver Mount Kenya, are going to find it difficult is number one, Kindiki and Ichun'gwa are the faces of Mount Kenya betrayal. In parliament, it is Ichun'gwa who was the majority leader and was the man behind Rigathi Gachagua impeachment in parliament. That, just by the mere fact that he led that impeachment, those who don't agree with that impeachment cannot like him. And he lacks that range. And most importantly, even Kindiki is inherited that seat from Rigathi. And people felt like by the time Rigathi was impeached, and of course the charges were flimsy, what would have happened is that maybe that seat would not have gone to Mount Kenya. And both of them, by the mere fact that you inherited that seat, is perceived as a man who were behind Rigathi removal. So the two are the least. Just the image is not going to attract the vote, even for the president. I'm also not sure whether the several aspirants will coalesce around Kindiki. Why aspirants always coalesce around one prominent politician is, apart from influence, they can also get campaign resources. I doubt whether Kindiki will have those resources. Kindiki might be lacking both the resources and the influence. Now, the second other challenge is, especially in the Mount Kenya, is there is an element of change that is lacking. The country in a situation where people are saying, we need some change. We need some change. By the way, people felt like we might have made a mistake. Now, if you listen to the way the president talks, all the way from June 2022, the way he was talking about affordable up to now, even to the moment, what is new is bringing on table? I don't know. Yes, saying ashafanya. So if you've done all that we promised, so what else do you want to do? That's where the problem is, because the more he asks, I want to do this and that, the country will start asking about that which he's not done. Now, I wish someone can tell Kindiki, William Ruto's 2027 cards are still very hidden. Hidden. He doesn't know to date who is going to be his running mate. It's unlike Rigathi, who have said and is willing to support Anan Kikuyu. He has an information to talk to the people. This team around the president, I don't know how they will transition if the president doesn't pick Kindiki, because that is also there. The probability of, the likelihood of dropping Kindiki is there. And when Kindiki is dropped, while the two are the face of Mount Kenya, they're going to collapse. Lastly, I feel the breakdown, the breakdown of the social contract between William Ruto and the Kikuyu nation is also coming due to what is called political awakening. Remember, the relationship was built on Uhuru as an object of hate. Now, William Ruto administration over time has proven that probably 80% of the things they used to attack and demonize Uhuru Kenyatta are not true. Yes. For example, some of the projects being launched are Uhuru's projects, like in Narok, and even several other parts of Mount Kenya. There have been all narratives about Uhuru did this, Uhuru did that. But with time, it's proving that that is not the position. Now, there is another challenge I want to say. The Gen Z were killed across the country. And after that, there are narrative of people pushing that it is Rigathi Gachagua who was behind the 2024 uprising. And largely, in 2024, the truth is in 2024, quite a number were killed from Mount Kenya compared, and I'm not saying relative to other tribes, but compared to 2023 and the years before. So those graves are there, and those graves are haunting. So the question of Gen Z killings is going to haunt. I listened to a time some women are talking about, they're giving tales about how their children were killed, and this is going to be in the table. Thank you.